I should have done this when in a Zoom meeting, you look past the person talking to you or presenting a webinar and see what's in the background. What does she have there? Oh, what kind of painting is that? What kind of plant is that? And it's kind of normal. I would like to think it's normal because I do that a lot. In art, we say each painting has a message, and usually it is dictated by the foreground, but we forget that the background makes up the entire picture. It makes it complete. But most of the time, we forget the background. We don't take notice of the background. For example, Mona Lisa. What comes to your mind? I'm sure it's the face, right? And that secret smile, that elusive smile, that long hair. But what's the background? Yes, she has a background. We see a horizon here. Background is not even natural. We assume that she's sitting in a studio having her portrait done. But why do we have a landscape in the background? And that forms a part of the message. But this video is not about Mona Lisa and her background because you can Google that, of course, because this is about Pinoy art. We're going to talk about Pinoy art and foreground and background. And we're going to use Bong Legaspi's online exhibit called HaPinoys. At first glance, just like the Mona Lisa, we are taken in by the subjects who are in the foreground. Those the boys and girls with a happy, wide, toothy grin. And that is intentional on the part of the artist. It was while working from home last year, 2020, the year where everything changed overnight, that Anthony Bong Legaspi, born out of his frustration and being in quarantine, he developed what is now known as his trademark Pinoy street character art of wide toothy grin and colorful backdrops. So as much as it's enjoyable to see the foreground, the subject, the main focus, the focal point, either the person or the street food, let's not forget the background because it completes the picture. Anything that a painter includes in a painting is important, no matter how small or far it is in the background. So we see here pancit, kape, pandesal. Take a look at the background. These foods have residential houses in the background. It tells us these words are not just about the food because it is in the setting of a residential neighborhood and not just any type of residential neighborhood. Look at what type of houses do we see here. These are not even middle class people. These are not even lower middle class people. These are, we can even venture to say, they are informal settlers. They also don't have time to cook. They need to hurry off to work. So these street food vendors, they offer them cheap meals. I wonder if this is a real store. Lucy's Pancitan since 1992. We don't see residential neighborhood anymore. In the background, further back in the background, we see commercial buildings here. They are in a commercial neighborhood. It is people who are busy with work, who need a quick bite. What kind of stores do we see? Lugawan, Tapsilog, Carinderia, Bakery. It says a lot about us, our culture. We really like to eat. While on the left, we have coconut leaves. Rural or urban, we're all the same because we love street food. And food is one of the most lucrative businesses, especially during the pandemic. Almost everybody pivoted to offering food. We see two different restaurants here, although they are serving the same type of food, all those silogs there. This one on the right, it seems we're gonna pay more because she has a uniform. And the guy on the left, it's more like your typical neighborhood restaurant where you don't pay for the ambience alone. All the money that you pay goes directly to the food. Let's look again at the background. Let's look at the menu. We don't know what kind of silos there, 25 pesos, 20 pesos. And this is interesting because I just mentioned that the one on the right seems more expensive because her menu seems they're cheaper than his. And we have even free soup, extra rice. We all love extra rice. These are our comfort food. You can never go wrong with all our Pinoy silogs. Jenny, her restaurant has been serving her community for 20 years now. But this guy, he's cooking and she's also cooking. They are expecting a lot of customers. But if he cannot afford to sit, do dine in, he can also do takeout. You can have this fried chicken, rice meal, and you can also have your dessert, pineapple, sliced pineapple. Again, look at the background. We have a sari-sari store here and repair shop. So this is interesting. This one selling fried chicken, he is in a residential neighborhood that have some of the houses, they have converted their extra space into shops. And you know what? Usually when I see street vendors selling fried chicken meals, they are in this kind of setting. For our pineapple, well, it's a carinderia. So he knows where people would be interested in buying dessert because after they have their meal in the carinderia, he's there to serve what the carinderia cannot serve the customers. Speaking of dessert, we have, of course, the halo-halo, the dirty ice cream, and scramble. Look at the background. They are in a residential neighborhood. So Bong Legaspi, the artist, is telling us that we prefer enjoying our dessert when we are at home. Although Pinoys love Jollibee, McDonald's burgers, we have space for that neighborhood burger ketchup that we can squeeze from bottle than from sachet. And at 45 pesos, that is very budget friendly to students. Speaking of students, no Pinoy student life is complete without eating street food and together with their classmates. Who cares about hepatitis? With all the neighborhoods that we are seeing, they are generic. It can be your neighborhood, can be my neighborhood, but Bong Legaspi here pays tribute to maybe it is his barangay addition hills. The ubiquitous street basketball, and what better way to enjoy the game, especially in a hot afternoon, than with buko juice. I don't know what these are actually. This guy here, he is enjoying the game while texting. This is a scene prior to 2020 is very common. And I can only hope that soon we can go back to with people smiling with their toothy grins, with no mask, no shields. In the meantime, let us just be positive while staying negative. Thank you to Bong Legaspi for a wonderful and very fun, almost nostalgic actually, of a life pre-pandemic. During these times, art is essential.